Hey y'all, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Cleaning Life with Kia. My name is Kia Smith, and I am the owner of Help Now. It is a small business in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, surrounding areas. Well, I specialize in home management. We do cleaning, general cleanings, deep cleanings, maid services, declutter, organizations. Um, we do all that good stuff. And we're just here to help. So I'm just using my business as a platform to just spread awareness, to give tips, and just help in places that may be needed. Like I said, it's a cleaning company, so of course we have to go into homes, but everybody may not be open to someone coming into their home. They may not be able to afford it, but they are still worthy of like tips and help. So um, that's why I'm here. And I hope you all are doing great today. Thank you all for being here, and I hope you're off to a wonderful week. So again, welcome and thank you so very much for being with me and joining me this evening. Um, First, what I want to do is just let me share with you the Help Now mission, so that you can truly understand why I'm here, my purpose, and what we do at Help Now. So, our mission is to help our clients manage their home and organize parts of their lives that matter the most by bringing families and communities together through complete household management. We have a passion to help, heal, and nourish our clients through life when they need help now or later. So, not only will I be talking about cleaning and home management on this platform, I will also use this platform for support, as well. It is a part of my purpose to help counsel, advise, help problem solve, and share my knowledge. And with that being said, let's get into tonight's podcast topic, which is how to help those that can't help themselves. So, before I get to using examples for helping other people, I'll just use myself as an example. I hate to try to project, when you talk about other people, not talking about other people, but, use people for examples or situations and circumstances. For example, it's not to put the focus on them. Like we first have to kind of look at ourselves. So I'll always um, use myself as an example, and I'm okay with just being transparent. Um, you know, so far as like help is concerned and helping those that can't help themselves, as far as I'm concerned, I can actually like help myself. And I still be needing help. And I think that's like the majority for most people. I think we all can use some help from time to time. I'm almost positive of that. Um, I have a willing and able body. My mind is strong and intact. But mentally, it's a struggle sometimes, having to think about everything, having everything to think about and having everything to figure out, and physically, sometimes it's a struggle. Um, trying to be everywhere and doing everything, for everybody, and most importantly, for yourself. And sometimes it would just be nice to have a person, or better yet, like just a small tribe of people um who are supportive and who can just come in and help, with anything sometimes. Sometimes you just need some help. Luckily for me, I am I'm very intentional in how I move, mentally and physically, therefore I'm able to accomplish the tasks that are set before me. I'm still young and for the most part my mind is good, and so is my body. Um I am a able being, and I am grateful for that. So like if you are an able being, you're able, to do those things mentally and physically for yourself. That is a true blessing. It's an underrated blessing that, people take for granted all the time because there are a lot of people, and I'm telling you, there are a lot of people, but that's not the case. Um, so today, what I want to discuss is like the change in trajectory, for people who can't help themselves and how to help, the said people, for example, but they aren't limited to, you have people who battle with, depression. They have dementia, people who are disabled, and of course, our beloved elders. Um, so, the word help um, is to make it easier for someone to do something by offering one services or resources, to give assistance or support to someone, to provide someone with something that is useful or necessary in achieving an end. And those words, assistance and support, are so vital, and so important in the world that we live in today. Um, Assistance and support, like it's hard to pay for adequate and reliable assistance or support. And I mean, there are people that truly need it. And we just live in a world where people are just so self-serving that they don't look outside of themselves. And I understand that everybody's heart is different. Like, again, I'll say all the time, and I've said it plenty of times here on the podcast, like I am a severe empath. Like I can feel people. I can walk past them. I can, even through a text, a phone call, just passing by them briefly, like you feel. And then not only that, I'm just really observant. And a lot of people today, they aren't observant because they're so overly stimulated and they're so overly distracted. And then, also a lot of people just don't give a shit. Let's just call it what it is. You have other factors, but um it is truly a blessing when you can run across people who truly, genuinely, and like for real care. It is very, very rare. Um, and the crazy and most hurtful part of it all is that most of the time it doesn't even really take much to help someone. Most people, they just want to be seen, heard, and know, they just want to know that they are loved and supported. Yes, you will have to give up your time. Yes, you will have to physically help. Yes, you will have to be intentional about what you're doing um, when you're helping someone. But when I tell you it is worth it, it is indescribably worth it. A lot of people they think that it feels good to be selfish. I ain't help nobody, ain't nobody help me, and yada yada yada, all that mess. But I, in my personal life, I help my friends, I help my family, and in my business life, that's what I do for a living. Like I help people. That is what's in my heart. Um, and there are no words to describe the joy. Now, I have to manage my time. I have to make sure I stay in a certain headspace because you can't give all of yourself to people. And even when helping, be mindful of your situation. You don't want to just be out here giving random help, knowing that, all willy nilly, knowing that you're not even in a space, um, to even help, you know, someone. Sometimes you may not be in a space. And if you're not, like, you're just not. Like, I'll take myself for example. Like right now, I got all on my plate I can take. and I'm good with that. I'm honest. I'm honest with that. And I mean, and when I say I got all I can take, that's just all I have. That all the energy that I have right now, that's all I got. Like the people that I'm helping, the things that I'm doing, that's all I got. I know that I really can't take on too much. So if somebody was needing some extra help from me right now, I would have to rearrange some energy and some other things in order to get that done. Or I would just have to simply say, I can't help you at this time. And sometimes you may just have to send people good energy and pray for them. Um, knowing that things will get better. Things will get better and things do pan out. But, a lot of times when you need the help that you need, you just need it, but you can't pour out of an empty cup. If you don't have to give, you just don't have to give. And that's okay. So I don't want anybody to feel like you have to overexert yourself and you jump down a rabbit hole trying to help somebody else when you're just two shakes away from needing help yourself. But there are, just a few random ways to help people who truly um, need us to support them, with the things that they battle with that are far beyond their reach and their control. Um, for me, a lot of things, it's not beyond my reach or control. And I'll say that too, because it's just in that constant state of mind of being grateful. I have a willing and able body. My mind is intact a certain way. So, I can kind of keep it together. And if you're in that same space where your body is good and your mind is good, then you're in a good space. But um, there are some things that some people deal with that is literally far beyond their reach and their control, and they really need help. They don't have anybody. Um, so one of the strongest ways to support um people is first of all just being present. Um, and like again, like I said, being present in a healthy way. If you're battling some things and you got some stuff going on, um, and it's not healthy for you to help somebody, then don't help. So, if you're in a good space, just being present in a healthy way is a start. A lot of people be thinking that you have to just bend over backwards. A lot of people just don't want to do anything at all. And then they overthink the situation. Like you got to work like a dog, to help somebody. And people don't want to give up their time. And a lot of times it don't even take all of what you think it's going to take. And you can make such a big impact in their lives. Um, so you have to be present, in a healthy way, and you have to just be open to helping. Also, being mentally available and just opening up your mind to the fact that your help is indeed needed. Opening up your mind to that space to know that you can add value to someone else's life. And probably even more important than all of that, it's just really embodying a good, a good heart and spirit that is willing to help. Um, so just like I said, a good heart. Even with my clients, it's not just a job. All of my clients will tell you, um, I we never go in. Me and the people that work alongside me, we never um go in without that embodying that good spirit to help, because even though I mean, of course, if I'm there, I'm gonna get paid, but the good in me and my heart is truly there to help, because even outside of the compensation, the pay, I'm going to get blessed anyway. And I don't go into it like, well, yeah, I'm going to go in and do that because I'm going to get my blessing. I already know that that's going to come anyway, and I feel good about doing that. We feel good. Everybody that work alongside me, we feel good about what we do. Other ways is just being decent, just being a decent person. Like, decency is out the window these days. Like people don't even know how to be decent. Like I feel like when you say decent, it's almost kind of, to me, it's almost like the bare minimum, almost. Being decent. Like he decent. She decent. You know, but be decent. And you have to be. You have to be patient. People do not like being patient. This is such a quick, fast world on everything, like emotionally, physically, financially. Everything has to be so. People don't have patience. They don't know how to chill. They don't know how to just, kind of go with the flow and let people just be, who they are in those spaces, when they need help. And you have to be patient with people. You can't rush through helping. You can't not trust the process. Like you have to have patience. You have to ask what you can do to help. Like people excuse, well, I don't know what they need to be done. I don't know. Yeah, because you don't ask, because you don't care. Something that I tell my kids all the time, ask. If you don't know something, ask. I'm the most askingest person on the planet. If I don't understand something, if I don't know and I need to know and I want to know the quickest way um to get between 2 points is a straight line. Let's just get to it. Ask what you need to ask. If you truly want to help and be of support and assistance and you don't know how to do that, ask the person. It's just that simple. But a lot of people, they don't want to ask because ultimately, um, they don't want to help. And that's just the bottom line. And I mean, and be honest with yourself. If you're just not that type of person, you're just not that type of person. And this podcast episode is not for you. So I'm just talking about, and talking to the people that, have a heart uh, for this. Um, so again, like I said, depression, dementia, disabled people, and the elderly, I have worked with them all. I have seen and experienced them all with my years of owning and working help now. And I mean, that's about six on 7 years. And it just weighs my heart down to the ground to see so many people with such little to no help. Like there are so many people out here with very little, and most of the time, like no help at all. Like to the point, literally, they have to hire people, have to hire someone to come in. Like I said, you can't even hire nobody to care. you know Luckily, like my clients, that's just a bonus because they know I care. I had a client over the weekend, and she was just like, you just know all your clients. She said you just open with everybody, you honest, you have your own relationship, you don't judge nobody, you just come in here. It's like a family deal because honestly, we're all family here. If we were meant to be alone, God would have just put us all on separate planets and just be alone. We'll just be somewhere alone all the time. But that's not the way that this thing goes. We're all here for a reason. And people just lose and have lost sight of humanity. And it's just so sad. So, I mean, on a regular, just even like for me, even being a willing, able body and moving around, like I still be needing help. But you reaching too far. Like if you people see you, they feel like you good, and they, like most people, like, girl, you just have it all together. No, I don't. Like sometimes I do need help, but I can manage and maintain. But there are just some people who they can't help themselves. Like mentally and physically, it is just almost impossible for them to function daily without the assistance and support of others. And a lot of times they don't have that. And so they suffer. And it's very hard to watch. And, like I said, even with this podcast, it's just an awareness, whether you go help somebody or, take some time to look into your heart to see like, could I be of more service, to someone? Um, I just want to make you aware that, there are people out here that they need that help and they need that love and they need that support. So I have dealt with clients who have dealt with depression. And like I said, I guess my spirit is just a certain way. Like I'll do my assessments, we'll have a talk, and these people, they just want to be heard. I've dealt with a few clients and they have dealt with so much loss and so much trauma. It be so much that be going on. and they just want to be heard. Like, and they'll tell me I'll be coming in to do the assessment or complain. Like, I don't know why I'm just talking to you about everything. It just feels safe to talk to you. So just even having a spirit where people feel safe enough, to talk to you about those things, because a lot of people, even with depression, they try to hide it, because a lot of people, they view it as weak, or sometimes, people may look at them like they're crazy or something like that. And that is just so, you have to help take people out of that headspace. So even when you're dealing with somebody that's with depression, like I've dealt with people, like just in like in my life, I've dealt with people. Hell, I've been there before. I try to control it to a certain extent. Like I try not to get too far down a rabbit hole, because like sometimes like you could get like down and it take you a long, long time to come back up. And like for me, it's just really not an option, because I have so much on my plate. It was like, okay, girl, you're gonna feel what you feel for a little while, but we're gonna have to make some changes. But everybody don't deal with that. And then like a lot of times that people who are depressed, they've dealt with things that I haven't dealt with before. I've had clients who have lost loved ones, close loved ones, and dealt with certain types of trauma. So, I can't identify. I can only say, the things that I've been through. But even in those moments dealing with those clients, I'm telling you, all they really want is patience. Can you give somebody your patience? They want a listening ear. Can you sit down and just shut the fuck up and open your ears and close your mouth and let people talk? Sometimes it's getting things out will make you feel so much better. Help create a peaceful environment. For those people also, going in not only, with my clients who would be dealing with depression, like they want a listening ear. They hire me to create a peaceful environment, reduce clutter and chaos around their homes. And I mean, if you know people in your life, friends, you have friends, family members, it's like they shouldn't have to hire you to come in and do that. People who deal with depression, they struggle. Like it's mental, but it turns into physical ailments. Like you feel bad all the time. You don't want to get out of bed. Like life is just kind of piling up around them. And even if you can just come in and clean the clutter around their bed, go put the dishes in the sink, go wash the dishes, or sweep a floor, light an incense or a candle, you know, like again, you don't have to jump through hoops with people. It's simple. It's simple things. Like you can't jump into their body and heal them. um you can only, show your kindness and love and grace through example. And that's just helping. Just take a few minutes of your time. And like for me, it'd be bewildering. Like I'm like, I know you can do it. I get so irritated because I look around, like I'm very observant. I look around, all people do is they be on the phone all the time. I don't know. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves. Like I have to be on mine, but I'm conducting business. I have 4 kids, to be a lot of stuff going on. And sometimes every blue moon, you might get on there and just BS just because, you just need your mind to go to a different place. But I'm telling you, being hooked on there, it is bewildering, because it's like your screen time is 20 million hours, and then you won't even use discernment to get up and go hand somebody a cup of water, a bottle of water. It is wild to me that people behave in that manner. But even like I said, with depression, just be patient, give a listening ear, go clean up. Like they feel better. I've had clients, I go clean, and I'm telling you, I've cleaned and that helped put them a step in the right direction. I mean, I'm saying it because that's what they told me. Um, just having somebody to kind of just get the energy, that good energy started for them. Um, you have people who deal with dementia. So my very, very, very first client ever, like when I started this business, was uh, a older gentleman, Mr. Tate, who he had dementia. He's transitioned now, but his daughter hired me, and I'm just thinking like she was like, well, my dad, he stay by himself, and he just needs somebody to come in and kind of clean and do this. So she just hired me to kind of do some work. But once I kind of got in and I met him, And I can't remember if she told me initially that he had dementia or or what the case was, but anyway, he was at a house and he was staying by himself. And his daughter stayed in her house with her husband. And so what I didn't know is that when I took him on as a client, well, she hired me, but basically I'm helping her and I'm helping him because I didn't know that I was going to be coming in there providing so much of a peace of mind for her, and then even for him, outside of just the physical stuff that I did in the house, that man had full blown dementia. And I don't know if you've ever um been in a space with anyone who has had dementia, but that scares the shit out of me because you can't like it's like you can't remember. I mean, it scared the shit out of me because sometimes I be forgetting stuff and then I guess I go into hypochondriac mode. Like, oh God, am I gonna have dementia? I can't remember shit. Like sometimes I can't remember nothing. Them kids like, Mom, you can't. And I'm like, if my mind is doing this at 43, what is gonna happen when I'm 63 and 73? Like, hopefully I won't even care about remembering nothing if that happened. Like I don't know, but for the person that's going through it, it is when I tell you that it's so frustrating for them. Those dementia clients and people who suffer with dementia or who have dementia. I won't say suffer, but who are having to live with dementia. Like it's a lot. And little did I know, and that was when I first started. So that's like 6 years ago, something like that. Little did I know. Fast forward all these years, now my stepfather has dementia. It's a lot. It's a lot on my mom. It's a lot on him. So you just have to be in those spaces. So even like I didn't even know that I was kind of even being prepared for something that was 6 or 7 years down the line. Even dealing with my first client who had dementia, and now all these years later, being in that space and being open and being patient and being willing and having a certain type of heart, it allows me to be of help and service to my mom. Whether it's just listening to her, um just being there for her when she needs me in any capacity. When I'm home and I'm visiting, I know what she's dealing with. I know what my step to help, but you must know it's frustrating not to be able to remember and um knowing that something's not right, something's not connecting the way that it used to connect. It's a lot. Let's see. Do you think people with dementia or depression requires a different type of cleaning session that caters to the needs of the illness? Yes, it just kind of depends on what they have going on. So like for Mr. Tate, when I used to deal with him, um, the things that he could remember, like he needed things to be stable. The things that he could remember, he needed things had to line up a certain way all the time because his routine, his life, was just in his mind, the same routine every day. They do the same thing, they think about the same thing, they say the same thing over and over and over and over again. So when you go in, you have to mentally accommodate them a certain way. um I try to put things back a certain way every time. So when he would come back to it, he could remember, but it would still be clean and it would be in order because they can't do anything. They can't, and it also depends on like the progression. And yes, like when someone's depressed, like it depends on like how they're dealing with the depression. Some people they let their houses go totally to chaos, because they just can't handle it. Um, so even just going in, the way that you talk to these people, the way that you clean their home, it has to accommodate, what they have, going on at the time. Um, so also there are people that are disabled. Everybody don't have the luxury of have a full functioning body. So be grateful for that. Like I be hurting and bones be cracking and popping and stuff like that. But even with that, like I am so grateful because there are some people out here that can't do anything. So in that aspect, you have to mentally be open for them as well, because a lot of times, like, people feel bad about asking you to help, or they feel a certain way because they don't want to feel like they're being a burden or anything like that. And you definitely don't want them to feel that way. But, in that case, you may have to physically help, take some time out of your day and do whatever it is that need to be done to physically, physically help them. You have to just be in a space to know that that's what you have to do in order to help. And it doesn't mean, and when I say help, that's what I mean. I'm not saying take on the full blown responsibility of, because a lot of times there are people that have had to take on the full responsibility of taking care of these people who can't take care of themselves. So what I'm saying, like, people like us on the outside looking in, like, offer yourself in a space where you can help the person that's actually disabled. And then sometimes they don't even have nobody. I've been in situations I've seen, like, they ain't have nobody. They just making it the best way that they can. So, physically, you may have to do the things that they are just, it's beyond their reach and control. Like, what do? You just gonna sit there and let them just suffer and go without and be without? That's weird, because it happens a lot. It happens a lot. And then the worst, oh, that I hate. It just made me feel so bad, and that's just our elders. I've mentioned this plenty times here that I've been on this podcast. Like, I don't know. All I gotta say is just live long enough. Yeah, you live long enough, and it's like it's all fun and games now, because you're able to move around and do things on your own. It's all fun and games, but you keep living and you get to a point where you can't clean your house the way you once did. And not only that, you're tired. You think you live for 70, 80 years, you're tired. Your mind is tired, your spirit is tired, your body is tired. Depending on the level of care, sometimes people that are older, they take really good care of themselves. But I mean, I'm just saying on the average, especially, living in the US, the world we live in, all the bad food, big pharma, pumping people full of drugs they don't need, people, it's a lot. So it's like, just keep living, like things my grandma used to say, just keep living, just keep living. And that's and that's the truth, because that's going to be your ass someday, somewhere, wishing that somebody would just come through. And the same thing, with just listening and being, like, a lot of times older people, they just want to be heard. They just want to be seen. They just want to be listened to, because after you get to a certain age, it's just like when you're not able to move around and you're not functioning and mobile, and you can't keep up with the masses, people, they really, really, like, forget about you. And like, the culture here in the United States, it sucks. Like, in other places, like, they honor their elders. They take in all their wisdom. They give them their love, and in return, I won't say in return, but they just do it because that's what they're supposed to do. They help them with the things that they can't. And like, it's so many people, clients, they're just old, and their children have just turned their backs. They're so busy doing nothing that really just have meaning to it. And then sometimes you do have meaning to your life, and people are busy and have things going on, but like, you have to take the time. Like, there's just no other way. You have to take the time to help them, because they don't have anyone else. And like I said, if you don't even know how you can help, you can just always ask. But leaving them be to fend for themselves, it is just, that's never the right thing to do. It's just never the right thing to do. Like, we could go on and on. There's so many examples of people that, that need help and have things going on, again, that are so beyond their reach and control. But I just wanted to hit on a few points, because, as I go out every day, I just see less and less of people caring. I see less and less of people helping. And if we continue on this pace, it's already bad. It's gonna be like really bad. Like, I love on my kids, and I treat them good. I treat them so good, because I know, that, at some point, hopefully, I will grow, gracefully I'll grow older, even older, but I know that I'm going to need that. So I want to incorporate in their minds and their spirits now that it's a good thing to help. And it doesn't have to be a task. You don't have to feel like it's a job. When you help somebody, like when I do my work, I know it's a job and I'm doing some work, but when it comes to just like genuinely helping people and listening and being patient, like it doesn't, that don't bother me. Like I feel that's how everyone should be treated. So, and that's just me. And everybody doesn't share that because everybody's heart isn't built the same, their mind isn't built the same. And just because it's not maybe built the way it doesn't mean that you can't train your mind to be so. You know when you need to do better. People know when they need to do better. They just won't do it for whatever reason. And some people are just selfish, but some people have the heart. But like I said, there's so many distractions and so much stimulation out here that, people would rather be on TikTok than to just really give their time. They'll give social media your time, but you won't call your mom, or you won't call your aunt or your uncle, or people that that need help. And even in my case, it ain't even just all to those people that need, I'm good, but shoot, a phone call just to know that you're thinking about somebody and just to offer of yourself, it's a beautiful thing. And people be needing it no matter what you're going through, no matter what age or no matter what you got going on with your mind or with your body. Like everybody needs that. And I think if we were to put that into practice, things wouldn't just be so out of whack. So like I said, I love awareness. I see things all the time where it can just be, the world in general could be improved. And I mean, I can't do it by myself. And I just put it out there. So hopefully like other people, will just come along and join us in that effort. So today I read, before we go, I read today, too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around. Like, I don't know. I saw that today and it just meant so much, and just to remember to keep in mind that um just because other people deal with things that like we don't understand, just because people deal with things that we don't understand, it doesn't mean that it's not worth understanding. Just because you know we're not dealing with it. You have to take yourself out of the equation a lot. Just because we don't understand it, it doesn't mean that it's not worth understanding, because it is definitely worth understanding, because people are worth it. They're our people, and it is our responsibility to make sure that we're doing what we can within our reach and control and our mental and physical capacity to help stand in the gap when we can. So that's all I have. Thank you all so much for being here. And I just hope that, it helped in some way, and I just know, as for myself and the crew at Help Now, we're just gonna continue helping and doing what we do, because it is more than just cleaning, it's more than just decluttering and home management. Like, we honestly and truly and genuinely put our heart into everything we do, because people matter. Because people matter because we're people, and I know I matter. So that means that you matter too. And thank y'all for showing up for me again. Y'all have a great night and a great rest of the week. Um, and y'all be good. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.